Good morning, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving, or whatever mashup of the two words you would like. So it occurred to me last night that we had to do something here in the house to commemorate this truly once-in-a-lifetime event. I think I heard on NPR that this will happen again, that is to say the coincidence of Thanksgiving Day and the first day of Hanukkah in the year 74,129. So clearly I'm not going to have an opportunity to mark this day ever again in my life, so I wanted to do it in a special way. Now, anyone who knows me that I have quite the sweet tooth, and my favorite part of Hanukkah is something called Sufganiyah, which are traditional, typically fried jelly donuts, and I wanted to convert those to something that had a little bit of Thanksgiving in them. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool to make a jelly donut that had cranberry sauce in it instead of regular jelly? So I embarked upon this project, came up with a technique that I think is very doable, and I'd like to share it with you. So, to begin with, I need to show you a little bit of what's involved. Let's start with the ingredients that are going to be necessary. Now, I'm cheating. I'm not making my own donuts. These are store-bought jelly donuts. Also, you can get plain donuts and convert them to jelly donuts, and we'll talk about how to do that. I wasn't able to get a raised donut that was solid, so I'm just working with a round raised donut. The other ingredient is cranberry sauce. And the important thing about the cranberry sauce, it's always better to have it homemade. You can't get the stuff in the Del Monte stuff that looks like jelly in a can. But if you have homemade cranberry sauce, tilt it if possible to the sweet side rather than the sour side. And you need to emulsify it with this immersion blender or something like it, because the consistency can't be too solid. That is to say, you don't want to have too many pieces of solid cranberry in it. It's going to be hard to work with. So those are the main ingredients. I'd now like to move on to the equipment that you're going to need. Now, as you see here, the two major things are syringes or some type of cooking syringe. I don't know much about cooking, so I don't know where to get cooking syringes or something like it. So I went and got regular syringes from the drugstore and prepared them. And I'll show you how to modify them to get the job done. Any knife, I happen to have a scalpel, and that's important for this. And then finally, to prepare the syringes, we are going to end up needing a fairly stout pair of scissors. Cooking shears work well. Okay, so we'll take a little bit of a break, and the next step is to show you how to prepare the syringes. Okay, welcome back, and now how to prepare the syringes for the job at hand. So if you take and again, if you have cooking syringes, you probably don't have to do this, but basically what you do for this, for a regular medical syringe, is you just amputate that little end right close to the bevel down here. I don't know if you can see it on the zoom or not. So you want to go right at that level where the scissor is. Okay. And then I'll show you how to go about doing that. So basically just clamp down with the scissor on that level, and then I turn the syringe until it comes off. And now we have ourselves a hole in the end. But the hole itself is still a little bit too small to provide for easy passage of what we needed to do in the steps to come. So I take the end of the scissor, I insert it into the hole, and then I just start rotating the syringe itself to expand the diameter of that hole. The next thing you want to make sure that you do is clean off any little errant pieces of plastic, because you don't want them ending up inside your donut. And that's basically it. Now you have a reasonable size hole. I would say that that's maybe 1/8 of an inch to to a 1/4 of an inch wide. And that's how the syringes are prepared. Okay. Let me just clean up my surface here. Alright, and now we're going to move on to the actual preparation of the donuts as we described. So we'll be back in 1 minute. Thank you. Hello again, and now we're ready to do the fun part of everything. So, we have 2 projects in mind. One is to take a jelly donut that's already a jelly donut and do a transplant, so to speak. So, here we have a standard jelly donut, and the first step is to find the hole where the people that made the donut originally injected the jelly. And it's fairly obvious, it's right there on the side. And I'm going to take this knife and I'm just going to cut into that area, maybe at about 1 inch across, and I'm going to go fairly deep so that the knife gets to the center of the donut. Okay, and now we have this little opening right here. I'm now going to take one of the smaller syringes that has already been prepared, and I'm just going to insert it into the center and start withdrawing. And you can see the jelly coming up into the syringe, and then we'll do a couple of passes. Here you can see the jelly coming out, and we'll just go around several times until we've gotten out as much of the jelly as we can. I think that's about it. All right. And next, we'll put that down. We need to prepare the injecting syringe. So here's our cranberry sauce, and I'm taking one of the larger syringes, okay, and I'm going to fill that. It's a 2-step process. Again, this is just because of a matter of trying to get this thick material into a small syringe, so I'm kind of doing it in a 2-phase process to try and make it a little bit less messy than it otherwise would be. Eliza, don't come in. We're doing a video. And now we put the oops! That's always fun. So, it's in a larger syringe, and now I have to find my smaller syringe. It was here momentarily ago. Up, here we go. So, you basically just put that there, you inject your cranberry sauce, reinsert the syringe. Okay, so now we have our loaded syringe with the cranberry sauce in place. Just reinsert this into the hole, inject, and you have yourself a Thanksgiving Sufganiyah. Okay, and that's all there is to that one. Okay, and next, in a second, we're going to move on to how to convert a non-jelly donut into a Thanksgiving Sufganiyah. Hi guys, back for the final chapter of our Thanksgiving Sufganiyah cooking lesson. And if you remember, we were working on turning jelly donuts into Thanksgiving versions by putting cranberry sauce in the center of the jelly donut instead of standard jelly, thereby paying homage to this confluence of events of having the first day of Hanukkah and Thanksgiving on the same day. So now we are going to convert a standard donut that had no jelly in it to begin with into a Thanksgiving Sufganiyot. I have donuts with holes in them. I wasn't able to get a solid one without jelly in it, but this should still work. So the first step is going to be to take the donut and create some pockets in it to accept the cranberry sauce. So for one with a hole, I'm going to make a pocket on each of the four basic sides of the donut. And so with the knife, just go in up to, but not through the center wall on each of the four sides, and making a little pocket with the knife. And then last one coming up. Very good. And next, you'll recall the technique that we discussed earlier. Larger syringe has the cranberry sauce in it. Use that to inject into a smaller syringe. Then put the plunger in. And then just simply insert the syringe into each of the holes. And I've pre-filled some others. And then last but not least, and there we have our cranberry sauce Sufganiyot, beginning with a non-jelly donut. And that's the end of it, and that's my homage to this incredible date in history. And eat one. I'm being told by my producer to eat one. Here goes nothing. Let's give it a try. That's the first time I actually tried this. I didn't try it before. This is a hit. This is a hit if I say so myself. Happy Hanukkah, everybody. Bye-bye.